everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy you're here. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to put on a fun and engaging December morning meeting. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a little while now, you guys already know this. I love morning meeting. And by the way, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Maddie. I'm a K-5 STEM teacher and ed tech coach in Los Angeles. I post weekly tech tutorials for teachers, and coming up, I'm actually going to be doing something called Vlogmas. So be sure to come back on December 1st and you'll find out what I'll be doing for Vlogmas. So like I said, I love morning meeting. It's totally my thing, and I really like to follow the responsive classroom structure. So what I'm going to be doing with today's video is I'm actually going to be showing you and giving you some ideas on how you can put on the perfect December morning meeting. So we're going to be looking at how to create morning greetings, a morning share, morning activity, morning message, and we're going to take a look at a couple of examples that I've made. And by the way, if you do like the examples that I show in today's video, I'll be sure to have a link to those in the video description down below. So without further ado, let's get started. So I've put together this Google Slides presentation for morning meeting. I really love to create slides presentations for morning meeting. I think it's just a really great way to ground students, to provide them with routine, different things like that. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk you through an example of a winter themed morning meeting that you could conduct with your students. So I'm just going to go slide by slide here and walk you through the morning meeting structure. So first we have this Tuesday slide. Now, whether you're teaching in person or you're teaching online or a hybrid, I really like to have just a generic slide here that says the day of the week so that students can see it as they enter class, again, both in person or online. Then next we'll move on to the morning greeting slide. So here I have written, good morning. Today is a chilly winter day. I often like to add some sort of element related to the weather. So again, I say today is a chilly winter day. It is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. Tyler is our morning leader. Tyler, how will we greet the class today? And so basically this begins sort of a conversation of community building, where our morning leader comes up with a way that we're going to greet our class. Then next we move on to the morning share. So just in case it wasn't clear, I really like to follow the responsive classroom morning meeting structure. I think it's a really great way to provide, predictability, routine, all that great stuff with students. And I also think that responsive classroom has tons of really great strategies in terms of building classroom community and classroom management. And so here we have morning share. Complete the sentence. When it is cold outside, I like to ... And so then basically what you can do if you're teaching in person or you're teaching remotely, you can just go through the class, call on students one by one, and ask them to complete this sentence. I think it's just kind of a fun, nice introductory activity. Like I said, this might be a sample lesson that you could do on December 1st for the first day of December. Then next we have our morning activity. So here it says, act out your favorite cold weather activity. I really love to do charades type games with students. I think that they have so much fun doing it. They have so much fun, laughing with each other, which of course is really great for classroom community, for student social emotional needs. But I also really like to do activities like this just because I think it's a really nice way for students to have a brain break. I think especially during this strange school year, students really need to get their bodies up and moving, which is why I put a fun activity like this one. And then lastly, we have the morning message. So here I have, yesterday we practiced telling time. We learned about telling time to the whole hour and the half hour. Today we are going to continue practicing our skills. What time does math class begin? And so this is just sort of a nice way for students to actually reflect on something that they've learned. So for the morning message, I tend to take a variety of different approaches here. Sometimes I'll introduce a math problem. Sometimes I'll have students reflect on something they learned the other day and then apply that today. Really, like I said, I tend to take a variety of different paths here. I do really like doing telling time exercises during morning meeting. I think it's just a really nice way for students to solidify that skill. But you can also have students think about, what they might write about during writer's workshop. I think the opportunities are really endless with morning message, and I think you can really be creative and think about how you can set the tone for the rest of the day by sort of grounding students in curriculum. All right, and so that's basically my structure here. I don't have too many slides. It's really simple, but again, these really fun graphics, I think, just make it so nice for students to be able to, be excited to see what's going to come next. There's this element of anticipation, and students also just really like fun graphics because I think it can kind of, like I said, add to that classroom community element here. When teaching online, I also think it's really important to present students with a schedule. Now, of course, if you're teaching in person, you can just put the schedule on the board like you do every morning for students during morning meeting. I think it's a great way to give students a schedule so they can anticipate what's going to happen throughout the day. But again, if you're teaching online, I think that even though Bitmoji Classroom can be kind of controversial online, I do think that they have a lot of practical applications in terms of giving students the opportunity to actually understand what is going to come next throughout the day. So for example, on this slide here, we say today's activities. 8:15 a.m. morning meeting. And so this actually has a link right here to morning meeting. So for example, if I'm teaching on Zoom, I could actually share this Bitmoji Classroom with students, this winter themed Bitmoji Classroom. They could just click on this morning meeting link and it would take them to our Zoom room. Then next we have Writer's Workshop, again, hyperlinked to take students wherever they're supposed to be, and then 10 a.m. math class, and then next is asynchronous time where I tell students to see the bookshelf. So basically what students can do is they can actually head over to the bookshelf here on the right-hand side. They can click on a variety of these different buttons, and we'll actually open up, Epic Books, for example. It'll open up the Seesaw app. And so this asynchronous bookshelf is, I think, just a really helpful tool when teaching remotely to give students, choice time or extra asynchronous time where they can work on a variety of different activities. Now, of course, this schedule is very much abbreviated for the purpose of this video, but my hope here is really just to sort of help you realize that morning meeting can be a really, really great time to introduce students to a schedule. So if you're teaching online, I might recommend checking out, using a Bitmoji Classroom for something like this. I think it's a nice classroom community tool and can be really nice for helping, build schedule and predictability and routine. And so if you're starting to notice, these are really some words and that I've been using a lot throughout this video. And I think that that's because it's just so important for students, especially during this difficult time. The last thing that I want to show you guys is this really fun Brain Breaks mystery game that I put together for students. I love Brain Breaks mystery games. I've posted several videos about this, and I actually am going to be posting a more in-depth video on how you can actually make something like this and some more ideas for Brain Breaks with students. So be sure to be on the lookout for that upcoming video. But I do just want to preview this here because I do think it's just a really great tool for you to use during the month of December and especially during morning meeting. So if we take a look here, basically I've put together these slides with this fun mystery game. It's kind of like Jeopardy style, where basically a student can click on a button and it will give them a brain break challenge. So for example, if we click on this peppermint here, it says your brain break is crawl like a polar bear. And then students can click back on the button here to go back to the main page, and they can just keep going. So now this one says your brain break is pretend you are shoveling up snow. So my hope with showing you this preview of this activity is just to give you guys an idea of how you can incorporate brain breaks into morning meeting. I think that this is a really great way, if you're not really sure what to do during that activity time, brain breaks is kind of my go-to. I always have these in my back pocket, honestly, throughout the entire day, but especially during morning meeting. These can be a really helpful thing for you to implement, whether you're teaching in person or you're teaching online. Thank you so much for watching today's video about putting on December/holiday themed morning meetings. If you liked this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I post weekly tech tutorials for teachers, and during Vlogmas, I'm going to be posting a new video every single day for the first 25 days of December. So be sure to join me back here on December 1st, and I'll see you back here soon. Bye, friends.